Call to the booth. Aqib Talib here. Can the Broncos shake back against the Washington football team? Judy back. Is Kyle Fuller out? Paul, drop that beat.
We're back. Week 8 show of Call to the Booth. Harrison Sanford, Aqib Talib, where we break down the 3-4 somehow Denver Broncos. Disappointing loss on Thursday Night Football against the Cleveland Browns, 17-14. Aqib, you were watching that game and doing work for Amazon Prime on their Twitch channel for that game. What did you see that led to where they are now at 3-4 after 3 straight wins to start the season?
Well, they decided not to stop the run on Thursday night, and they let Dearness Johnson just go crazy, man. So it was really almost a one-man show. So I don't think they did bad in the pass game. Hooper had the 134-yard pass, but it was more a catch and run. They didn't let any balls get thrown over their head. I thought that was a positive, but usually they stop the run, man. Usually they pretty good against the run. They did nothing against the run, so got to put it all together.
Almost incredible in a negative sense to see that 3rd and 7 play turn out, that run from Dearness Johnson that turned out to be a first down when you know you needed to get a stop. I have a quote here from Vic Fangio. Want your response to it. After the loss, what's most concerning is our fundamentals were lacking in that game, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. And when that's lacking, that's poor coaching on our part. And that starts with me. We've got to do a better job getting to the fundamental things taught and executed. Interesting quote. I mean, he's right, but with the hot seat that he's on, it's definitely going to increase the temperature when he points out that it was poor coaching of fundamentals, that it starts with him. Okay, what are your thoughts on that quote and where Vic Fangio stands as a head coach of the Denver Broncos?
Man, I feel like he's just biting the bullet for his team. That's what he's supposed to say, man, but that's ain't nobody in the NFL getting taught how to tackle. You know what I'm saying? We all know how to tackle. He not teaching you how to tackle, man. He had guys in right positions, man. Guys overran plays. They got cut back on. They missed tackles. Fangio didn't miss no tackles on Sunday. So he doing what he supposed to do, man. He biting the bullet for his guys, man. But all in all, that hot seat is going all come down to what that end of season record is. So forget your quotes, forget all that stuff. Forget the technique you teaching. What's the record going to be at the end of the year? That's going to determine if he got a job in Denver or not.
Do you think it's a situation where, regardless of what the record is, he's going to finish out the season?
I don't remember John getting rid of guys like halfway through the season because they was doing bad. You know what I'm saying? So I think for the most part, if you're in Denver, you're going to finish out the season. He'll move on after.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens here as the Denver Broncos get ready to take on the Washington football team. Before we break that down, we'll go ahead and look at the Denver Broncos from a fantasy football perspective. Ian Hartitz from PFF joined us, and he broke down who you should have on your roster, who you should prioritize when it comes to the Denver Broncos and fantasy football. Take a listen.
The big one that everyone wants to know is, like, when is Javonte Williams going to take over this backfield? And it's not that Melvin Gordon has been bad. I do think he kind of gets a bad rap. People just think he's this washed player. Like, he's still solid, but Javonte is literally number 1 in the NFL in missed forced tackles per carry this year. It seems like every week he has, he's jumping over a guy. He's got a monster run. He's making big things happen. So to see him only have 4 carries last Thursday night, just inexcusable. But it's not exactly looking like that takeover is going to happen anytime soon. So 2022 and beyond should be all wheels up for Javonte, but for right now, going to be tough to treat either guy as more than an RB3. And honestly, sorry Broncos fans, but at least in fantasy land, things are just a little too crowded to feel good about. Courtland Sutton, great receiver, and he's number 1 in the NFL in air yards. I mean, Teddy has not been afraid to launch that thing downfield to Sutton all season long. But when we bring back Jerry Jeudy, who, as we saw in week 1 before he got hurt, was looking an awful lot like their number 1 receiver, it just muddles everything involved. So, it's been a rough stretch for them. I think it's just coincided with them finally playing some tougher defenses. If we can get the Teddy Bridgewater that was out there in weeks 1 through 3, I think Sutton and Jeudy can give us some borderline wide receiver 2 value more weeks than not. But if this offense kind of keeps screeching to a halt the way it has been, might end up being a situation where none of these guys are people we feel all that confident in on a week-to-week basis.
Big opportunity here for this Denver Broncos team to step up, particularly the secondary, and particularly Kyle Fuller. After Vic Fangio benched him last week, he's got to respond to an opportunity like this. This is not a explosive offense. You would think he'd relish an opportunity to get back on field and get right for his head coach and his team, Aqib, I would think.
Definitely. Anytime a coach sits you on that bench, man, it's definitely a rude awakening. It's a humbling moment. So I'm sure he's going to come out and have a good week of practice and try to earn his way back on that field. But the Broncos got 4 corners now. They like Callahan in that slot. So, man, if they can have Darby and Surtain on the outside, Callahan in that slot, you see Fangio don't mind that. So it's a battle between those 4 guys week in, week out. So I know I personally never been benched like that. But Fuller, I know he's trying to get back on that field, man, because he's a vet who's always in the game. He used to be in the game. He used to be on the left side, being the man. So nice, confident we could practice, and Fuller will be all right. He'll be right back in there.
As you're looking at that matchup, what are you keying in on when it comes to Terry McLaurin versus the Denver Broncos secondary?
Well, they know that's where the ball going, man. He had a bunch of targets, I think over 10, maybe 12 targets last week, 100 and some yards. So you know who Heineke is trying to get the ball to, you know what I'm saying? So take him away, man. Make sure you know where he is at all times. Don't let him get behind you. He super fast guy. Can't let him get behind him. I thought they did a good job of that last week against the Browns, not letting guys get behind them. So you're in another situation like that, man. Not the greatest quarterback, right? Another backup quarterback who got a talented receiver. So keep them guys in front of you. Should be all right.
On the other side of the ball, Teddy Bridgewater going against this weak secondary. Well, we thought they weren't going to be weak going into the season, but they have proven to be. Right. He has to. It's hopefully he's healthier than he was in that Thursday night football game. But this has to be a spot where if this team is going to get to where they want to get, you got to take advantage of the matchup like this. It would seem. Yeah,
definitely. If you gonna get that momentum back, is Teddy gonna find that rhythm back, man? It'll be against the guys like this who gave up a bunch of touchdowns, a bunch of big plays. Hopefully he can get Judy back, man. And when Judy in your lineup, it just give you something else to worry about throughout the week. So something else you got a game plan for. I think when Judy in there, that kind of give them they need that deep threat, man. They need a guy who can really take the top off. I know Sutton is a deep threat, but he's like more of a 50-50 ball kind of a deep threat. They need a speed guy because the speed guy really back that safety up or really put pressure on that safety, you know what I'm saying? So maybe that'll open it up for Patrick, for those other guys, man. But if you're going to get going, Teddy, this the week you got to get going.
And he has a capability of doing so, especially if Judy gets back there. But it might be difficult if that offensive line doesn't hold up. Teddy is one of the most hit quarterbacks in the NFL, and now here comes Chase Young, who has been hearing the negative commentary about his fall off in play this season. And we've also seen the Denver Broncos offensive line be disappointing as well. Give me some insight into that matchup, Chase Young versus that Denver Broncos offensive line.
Well, I think how you win that matchup is you got to run the ball, man. You gotta get Chase in the not chase mode. Get him in the playing the run mode. You know what I'm saying? I think they had 40 rushing yards last week. Chase going to have a field day if you have 40 rushing yards because he's going to play the pass and react to the run every time. You got to have him playing the run and reacting to the pass. So that'll help the pass. I mean, if the Broncos could run the football, that'll help everything out. That'll help Teddy out. You know what I'm saying? That'll bring them linebackers up. It'll help Teddy out, and it'll definitely help the O-line out against Chase because if he playing straight pass, if they get up early and he get to, just pin his ears back and rush, it's going to be a long day for them guys.
So we've laid it out. Got to pay attention to Terry McLaurin. We got an opportunity to expose the Washington football secondary as long as Teddy Bridgewater is protected by some of it by the run game. What's your pick? Broncos are a 3-point favorite at home, 43.5 over under.
I'm going Broncos at the house. And I think it'll be an under, man. There's going to be a lot of running in this game. I think the Broncos get the run game going, man. They finally get that run game going. That'll get the intermediate pass game going. They'll keep that clock going. I'm gonna go Broncos minus, 3.5? Broncos minus 3.5, and I'm going to under on the 40. What is it, 45?
43.5.
43.5, I'm going under.
Broncos game at home. And everybody's probably going to be in Halloween outfits. It should be a fun one. Hopefully they win. We'll come back and recap what happened in the game and look ahead to next week with Aqib Talib. I'm Harrison Sanford. This is Call to the Booth. We'll see you next time.